I got into broadcasting because I like to give.
Hey, that's my cab!
Sometimes I found myself hurting from giving too much.
Fire these people.
But it's Christmas.
Bah humbug.
You are going to be visited by 3 ghosts. Expect the first one tomorrow at noon.
God, tomorrow's bad for me, Lou.
Okay, after watching this movie, can we please, Hollywood, please, can we get a movie that is Lee Majors playing Santa Claus, and it's called The Night the Reindeer Died? Can we please get that, even if it's animated? Please. Even if it's animated and you get Lee Majors to do the voice of Santa, please. I really want to see that. Like, please, I really want to see that. So, anyway, now that I got that out of the way, Scrooged. Now, when I was a kid, I was fully aware of all of these Christmas Carol movies. I was like 8 years old when the Robert Zemeckis one came out with the mocap with Jim Carrey. And I was aware of like all the versions they did, like the Muppets did one. I think Disney did one with some of their characters, and yeah, so I was aware of A Christmas Carol. I was aware of it. I even had this like old it was kind of like an interactive reader in a way, where it was like a little book, and then you place it in like a little like hub, I guess, and then you find the audio log and you click it in, and then as you're turning the pages, it's reading it aloud to you. And one of those books was a kind of animal, like an animal version of A Christmas Carol. And yeah, and so I'm fully aware of Christmas Carol when I was a kid. And this one kind of changes that, and I really like that. So this movie is done by Richard Donner, who, I really loved some of his stuff. Like, I love The Goonies. I think his Superman movie is really good. The Omen, I think, is a really well-made movie. And I've also liked Bill Murray as an actor, not really as a person because of all the controversy. But so Bill Murray plays a like pretty much an executive at a TV station. And he's very much being a Scrooge. He's like, people are saying like, "Oh, Merry Christmas." Move away. Like, get out of my way. And I also like how, back in, I think it was back in the 1800s, I think is when A Christmas Carol was set. They always say like, "Oh, leave me be," like talking much like that. But nowadays we're just like, "Hey, screw you." So he's got that, he's got that attitude on him. And, also Bobcat Goldthwait, him being in here was awesome too. But yeah, Bill Murray plays this executive who very much got that Scrooge attitude, and he gets visited by his deceased boss, and the way that it happens is his boss just walks in all like dead, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going? Listen, you've been kind of a jerk." And like, "Yeah, well, you're dead and you're walking around, so you're a literal zombie right now." And yeah, so it's like a Christmas Carol where the three ghosts, like Christmas present, past, and future. And but it's all played differently, which I really like what they did. Like, past is pretty much like a sleazy cab driver. Present is a fairy who is all nice, but then once you get on her nerve, she'll just go off on you. And I loved that. And then Future is pretty much death, which, yeah, that was quite a sight to see when I was a kid. I was just like, oh, look, it's a cab driver. Oh, look, it's a fairy. Oh, it's like death. Okay. All right. So I really, I've always liked when, movies or TV shows take a story that either everybody knows A Christmas Carol, and they turn it around and play around with it and make something different, but also something that's familiar to you. And Scrooged is that movie. It's one of those movies where it's going, okay, look, we're aware that everybody knows A Christmas Carol. We know that. We don't want to remake the same story over and over and over again. So why don't we do this? Let's take this story, put it in modern day, and play around with it and have fun with it. And that's exactly what this movie does, which is why I've always liked it. And I think Bill Murray, he does a great job in this. Karen Allen, who, I've always known her from Raiders of the Lost Ark, but, yeah, she's in Raiders, she's in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, she's in Animal House, she's in this, she's in Starman, which is a great film. If you haven't watched John Carpenter's Starman, that is a great film. And so yeah, the whole cast in this I thought was great. I believe it was Carol Kane. She is the Ghost of Christmas Present, and I loved that. Oh, she was being all like happy and chirpy, and then once you just kind of got on her nerves, she'll immediately like what was that cat in the Lego movie, where she's just like all happy and perky, but then once she starts getting angry, she then Unikitty. She just turns, just mad. It's like that. And I loved that. I love that. Every time when I watch this movie, I always get a laugh. But I also like how it goes dark, much like Christmas Carol does, because in the original story, and I think they've done it very well in reincarnations and other carnations. It's the Ghost of Christmas. The past is telling you, like, look, you see it. I think I've always see each ghost as an emotion. Where with Ghost of Christmas Past, it was always like, remember when it was like this? Don't you miss that? And you felt sadness. And then Present, it was always uplifting and happy. But then once you get to Future, it's like, this is a horror movie. Like, oh my God. So and that's exactly what Christmas Future did, was to scare you. It was very much scaring you, like, hey, look, change your way, or you're going to be like this. So don't be like this. And scared you. And in this case, yeah, he finds himself in a coffin and starts being on fire. So it's like, yeah, change your ways, or that's going to happen to you real soon. So don't be like that. So that's how I've always seen this story and the three ghosts, is to scare him, but it's also to scare him, but it's also to break him down. It's supposed to break him down, feel happy, and then scare him. And it works. And I really like this movie. It gets great. And yeah, I've always liked Scrooged. I've always liked it. And yeah, I just really like this movie, and I always like it when a movie or TV show, look at something and go, you know what, this has been done so many times. Let's reincarnate this, but make it different. And that's exactly what Scrooge does. It takes Christmas Carol, a story that's been done numerous times, plays around with it, makes it modern, and also just has fun with it. And I always like that. So this gets great. And please, Hollywood, please. The night the reindeer died as Lee Majors as Santa Claus, please make that happen right now.
You're so happy, but so poor.
She made me do for a raise.
Maybe.
Yeah, probably. May I? Oh, I'm having the weirdest day.
It's never too late. You can always change if you want to.
I've never liked a girl enough to give her 12 sharp knives.
For a couple of hours out of the whole year, we are the people that we always hoped we would be.
Did I forget something, big man?
God bless